Finally, this evening, our person of the week. There is no question, as you will see, that he's made a difference to millions of people. There was also no question that when it came time for him to pass a major milestone today, it was also a chance for us to meditate on how much has changed since the revolution.
When I was growing up, say in the 50s, the 30s to me didn't even exist. I couldn't even imagine them in any kind of way, so I don't suspect anybody growing up now is going to even understand what the 60s were all about.
Come gather around, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown.
Is it possible? Can it be 3 decades since a scruffy 20-year-old from Minnesota got off a bus in New York and began to rock the foundation of American popular music?
Well, the times they are a-changing.
Bob Dylan is 50 years old today.
But when we meet again, introduce as friends, please don't let on that you beware. John is in a basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government.
His style was revolutionary, his sound unique.
Your cracked country lips, I still wish you'd kiss theirs to be by the touch of your skin.
Phrasing I stumbled into. Some of the old folk singers used to phrase things in an interesting way. I got my style from seeing a lot of outdoor type poets. I don't know if I call myself a poet or not. I would like to.
Even the standard love song was about to change. No more Moon in June. Dylan's lyrics were complex, the melodies haunting.
I'm thinking and I'm wondering, walking all the way down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I'd give her my heart, but she wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's alright.
He just exploded the horizons for pop music. He took pop lyrics where they had not been before. Without Dylan, things would just be so completely different that we wouldn't recognize music today.
Bob Dylan, born Robert Zimmerman, was raised in Hibbing, Minnesota by Orthodox Jewish parents who fled religious persecution in the Soviet Union. Dylan describes his own childhood as nondescript.
Hey, turn out those lights!
When he was 15, he was taken by the counterculture presence of James Dean. But when he was in his early 20s, Bob Dylan began to emerge as a rebel with a cause.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man?
In the 1960s, Blowin' in the Wind became an anthem in the struggle for civil rights. Bob Dylan became the first folk singer to have major commercial success. His records sold in the millions.
Sometimes I'll start with a guitar part. Sometimes I'll start with a lyric part. The best ones are written very quickly.
Do you believe in?
I don't believe in anything. No, why should I believe in anything? I don't see anything to believe in.
The brash and irreverent Bob Dylan of the 60s was transformed in the 70s, both musically and spiritually. The music became more country and bluesy. The once Orthodox Jew became a born-again Christian.
I want to figure out what's happening, you know. So I did look into it all.
Once upon a time, you dressed so fine.
The electronic sound of Like a Rolling Stone in 1965 had his folk fans thinking he'd sold out. The updated version typifies the Dylan of today, a rock and roll player who is constantly on tour. Dylan, at 50, has got to make everyone who ever imitated him, borrowed from him, or even listened to him think twice about what it means to have life move on. The Dylan of today on his own legacy.
Well, you have to work out where your place is and who you are. But we're all spirit. It's all we are, just walking, you know, we're dressed up in a suit of skin. And we're going to leave that behind.
And so we choose Bob Dylan, star of the continuing Dylan epic. A mystery man by choice, the voice of a generation, still singing the kind of songs which inspire dreams. That's our report on World News Tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. Hope you have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. Good night.